You know the whole Zodiac killer thing?
Yeah.
The most notorious case in America. They've cracked the letter. They've cracked the code.
Oh.
Yeah. It's quite interesting, actually. It's very, very insightful.
Oh, yeah. That wasn't funny, Harry.
That
At least you
wasn't
make
at all.
yourself laugh.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 27 podcast. My name is Harry Barr, and as always, I'm joined by the incredible Ben Butler and Joscel Manor-Ambona. Guys, how are we today?
Can we just take a moment to deep that Ben just got promoted from wonderful to incredible?
We both. It's all encapsulating. Have you been going the entire time that I've just been complimenting Ben?
It's all right, Harry. It is what it is.
So I've actually got another birthday shout out. I can't believe people keep paying this money. So this one is a bit delayed because we didn't record a podcast this week. So I just want to say happy birthday to Harry Barr.
Thank you very
from
much.
about 2 weeks ago.
But we didn't record 10 days ago.
Yeah, but we didn't record a podcast last week, so I couldn't do that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ben.
No worries. How was your birthday?
It was. I didn't really do anything. Like, we're in tier 3. I couldn't really celebrate.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Huge
Yours
amount.
definitely sucked.
Yeah, but like so Ella came home from uni that day as well, so she was there sort of from about 2-3 p.m. onwards, and then we just had like a really nice, properly nice steak from the butcher's for dinner. It was lovely, steak and chips.
Nice.
So like, I couldn't really do a lot, but I made the most of what it was at the time.
How do you like your steak?
Either rare or medium rare.
Ooh.
How do you have yours?
Lean to more towards medium rare. You're well done.
Really?
Well-blooded.
When I was younger,
medium well at a push.
See, I actually don't see. I don't understand why people have a go at how someone else has their food.
I don't know.
I find that a bit annoying. Like, oh, have it well done. Sure. Like, if you want it, you're not going.
I just see from my perspective though, like you
just
lose all like the nice texture and the juiciness.
When I was younger, I used to have it well done.
And it's like because you didn't like the juice, as my mum used to call it.
And then, but as I got older, I don't eat it anymore.
Yeah, I know someone who has their steaks blue though, literally just like flat. Like, essentially just eats it raw. It's seared. They just sear the steak around so it looks cooked, and then you cut into it. It's like stone cold in the middle. It's really weird.
That is.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird though how like you can have a steak basically not cooked, but then when you have a burger, because especially like burgers you buy from supermarkets and things, you have to cook them right through because it's like using different types of meat.
Yeah, I think it's like
so that's really odd, though, isn't it? That you can have one part of the cow completely rare, you can't have a leg and an arm together. I mean, they haven't got arms.
No, it's a leg and an arm. Oh yes, a cow's arm for tea. Yum yum. That was also like with chicken as well. You have to cook chicken to at least 90 degrees or whatever it is. Like we've got a meat thermometer like at home now, very fancy one. It folds out and it's digital and everything. It's very, very cool. And I've been making my classic sticky chicken a couple of times, and like I hate in recipes when it's like cook for 15 minutes or until this, and I'm like, the only reason they put the or until is because it actually takes half an hour to 40 minutes to cook it all the way through, and it's like it's so annoying when like you're like, okay, right, we're gonna have tea at this time, so I've got the recipe, I've cooked it, and then like I go to get the meat thermometer out and it's only like 40 degrees. I'm like, well, I would die if I ate this right now, so I'm gonna put that back in the oven. But yeah, it's
not fair about that. I have a friend who she hates other people cooking chicken for her. Similar to you, actually.
I was a bit like that, though.
Yeah. She hated it, and I was like, "Don't worry, like I'm good. Like I can cook chicken. Like don't worry about it." And she was like, "Oh," and she would literally linger everywhere. She would like make sure that chicken, or like she would prod it. She would do everything, and I was like, "Listen, it's fine." But I can understand why.
I guess it's because it's the most dangerous thing to eat, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the only thing
if you undercook it, you're kind of screwed for a few days.
The only thing I do is, say if you presented me, I don't know, fajitas or something, I would probably just cut one piece of chicken open, just check it's white. I wouldn't like watch someone cook the food and make sure it's done properly.
Apparently, I saw on one of these like those food accounts on Facebook or whatever in terms of like how to test when chicken's cooked properly. One way is obviously cutting it open, seeing if it's still pink, but like if you squeeze it and the juice is still red, it means it's not cooked. But if you squeeze it and it's like
a roast chicken, the juices have to be clear before you cook.
That means it's cooked.
Yeah, no, because I've seen something as well, like basically sort of how tough a steak is. It goes through from like, so if you the finger, like touch the finger to the thumb, so like that's I think rare, that's medium rare, that's medium, and then that's well done. Like if you if you touch sort of like I guess like the bottom of your thumb, and like prod that bit, like that's what the texture should feel like to the touch, with how well done or rare your steak is, I guess, as well. Yeah.
Exciting.
How do you guys like your steak? Let us know on the 27 podcast Instagram page, even though this is the last episode.
Ultimate. And so I was driving home this morning, and I was listening to the radio, and I keep meaning to bring this up, but every time it just goes out of my mind when we start recording. Do you think the radio is dying?
I did have a think about this, actually, being like, who actually listens? The only time I listen to radio is when I'm in a car, like going from point to point.
So this was what I was going to say. Because where all this stemmed from was back in summer, I met up with some friends and they had to drive like an hour and a half or something. And it was the day Spotify was down. I don't know if you recall. There was a day where Spotify was down. And they were like, "Oh, we had to listen to the radio," and we're like, it just sucked. Like they were talking too much. Like all we just want to do is listen to.
Well, no, but the whole point, and
I was like, that's really interesting, isn't it? Because I think, especially as, new generations come and streaming services are more readily available, I do think radio is definitely dying.
What?
Because. Think about it. Like this is the way I was thinking about it. As you said, the only time you listen to radio is when you're in your car. Like, so just so you haven't got a car, so you never listen to the radio because, probably 10 years ago you'd listen to the radio if you were in the gym or if you were walking somewhere. But now you don't have to because you have all the music on you.
Yeah, well, it's interesting as well actually because, whenever I go down to uni with my dad or whatever, my dad would drive me. He'd have his phone. To like Bluetooth. Oh, another thing as well, like we're going to get to a point where all cars have Bluetooth. There will be no like CD. Well, there won't be any more CD players and everything. So you'll have to listen to something on your phone or the radio. I was talking to my dad about this, and whenever we used to drive down, he'd have his phone connected, but he had the BBC Sounds app, and he'd like download stuff that had been on already. So like comedy on Radio 4 he loves, or like a drama, and then occasionally podcasts as well. So BBC Sound's been making podcasts for the last, I'd say, year or two now. And like Tail Enders is a podcast that Ben and I both absolutely adore. And they like that's a podcast that is made by the BBC. So I think that's how radio stations are going to keep going and keep interaction is with these sort of things you download then listen to later at your own convenience. And but like, I mean, my dad's generation, they always listen to the radio. Mum always listens to radio too, instead of like Spotify or her music or whatever.
It's interesting because I do enjoy the radio. So down here in Portsmouth, it's quite cool. I actually really like listening to sport on the radio, and
that's another thing as well, like sport,
because it's a lot more descriptive. Whereas when you watch football match from telly, the commentators don't talk as much, which is the whole point. And so when Pompey play on a Saturday and stuff, I always listen to it, and I really like the commentator. He's very, very good on radio. And then I think about it, like I listen to Greg James maybe if I'm driving to the gym. If I'm driving to the gym, I won't put my music in because it's only about a 5-minute drive, so there's no point me plugging my phone and whatnot. And then I also quite like Elaine Page on a Sunday, which does all the musicals from like 1 till 3. But apart from that, but also I wouldn't go back and listen to them.
No, that's true.
I wouldn't be like, oh, I missed a Greg James show this morning. I have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
So I think it is dying out. And I wonder what will happen. Will radio just not be a thing? And as you say, everyone just listens to podcasts.
Yeah, I mean, you got like small local radio stations. Like there's one in Lincolnshire that I think like it shut down, but then like within hang on, sorry, my dad's calling me. 1 second. Just gonna pause the recording. So I just had a phone call. Can't really remember exactly what we're talking about, but it was about the radio. Joscel, have you got anything?
We are professional.
I think the radio is very much, I've always thought of the radio as just background noise. So I like to listen to the radio on my laptop actually, because it's just something that I don't have to necessarily focus on. but I can drop in and out of every now and again. Does that make sense? And if there's like a funny part where like I love it when it's a talk show and they allow people to just call in and some of the stuff that people call in for, and I'm like, oh my God, this is absolutely golden. But I think a good point that Ben said is how like with podcasts becoming a massive thing, it kind of just made me think, well, podcasts are essentially the new radio. Does that make sense? Like
it's funny because I don't think necessarily radio presenters will be good on podcasts, because as a radio presenter you kind of like do those like sometimes, I mean, you don't really talk for probably 5 minutes straight. I think that's actually probably too much. You kind of like do fillers in between songs. That's what the radio is.
Yeah, well,
I guess I mean there's different variations.
Yeah, I mean, like you've got sort of well, I mean, we're thinking more sort of like Radio 1 and things like that, where they play the music, then they have a little chat, then they play the music. Whereas, like, if you go to Radio 4, everything is just conversations. Like, there's no, they don't. Well, the only time they play music is on Desert Island Discs, which is itself now a podcast that people can listen to as well. And like when I listen to, sorry, Harry, but I listen to Talk Sport sometimes, like when I'm working, but it's usually to listen to like the football. If they've got a match on. But then my issue with it is that so sometimes there's not been a match, Kate, and they'll have some ex-footballers on. They like have a show. Good. I listen to that. I think they do it 2 hours. Cool. Interesting. I've learned some stuff. I've gone, I don't necessarily agree with that, whatever. But then the next 2 hours are just the same. It's the same topics, but just different people talking about it. Yeah.
It's like not anything new. And I think that's the problem when you have dedicated channels to stuff like that. It gets a bit repetitive, and
well, it's like on any 24-hour news channel. Like, and I've obviously working a care home. I'm working there for 7 or 8 hour stints, and they have a TV on with the news all day, and like the only news they cover is like a half hour to an hour cycle, and then they get to the end of that and they go back and talk another story, and it's just like a circle again and again. Like, so that's why I don't really like the 24-hour news stuff, because they only talk about stuff for an hour.
Repetitive. Yeah.
The problem is that you kind of have to have like a channel.
Yeah, I guess because if someone's tuning in, like looking at it, like, well, I guess that's.
And I guess it's one of those things, isn't it? Is that you're not meant to sit there.
No, that's true.
Again, just watch it. You kind of just.
I tuned into the news. I watch new news all the time.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I'm just waiting to do it all day to see if anything new happens.
I'll write a letter to Ofcom. That's another thing. I absolutely hate people that like, how can you get so angry watching a TV show or a movie or something and be like, right, I'm going to open up my computer, I'm going to find the Ofcom email address, I'm going to write out an email, and I'm going to click set. And then back in the old days when they did it, people had to like write a letter as well. I'm like, how are you that annoyed by like the Sainsbury's advert? Or, like that thing that was on Britain's Got Talent like a while ago, that Black Lives Matter performance.
I think it's important to have a body like that, because or you just be able to get away with whatever.
I know. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's like
if some TV show just started like praising the KKK,
or just playing
that deserves.
Like, we're just going to show you some.
Exactly, that's it. I think that deserves people complaining.
No, but I'm not. So that's like, the regulatory body's there for a reason. But it's just like all these people are like, this Sainsbury's advert doesn't. I don't relate to
Brexiteers for you, isn't it? Yeah. Deadline day today for Brexit, isn't it?
Oh God,
We're recording on this fine Sunday.
I mean,
it's going to be a no-deal Brexit.
I don't know why people thought there was going to be a deal.
Because the Conservatives told us so.
Right, of course, yes.
The Vote Leave campaign told us, Harry. That is why people.
We are not a political podcast.
We're not a political podcast.
Oh, it's the news, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Joscel, have you got an advent calendar?
I actually haven't, I haven't. I've been off the loop with everything outside in terms of like society for the past.
You're back to work though, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm back to work.
How's it like in tier 2? I'm assuming Knoxford's in tier 2.
Yeah, we're in tier 2. It's not bad. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. There is not much difference to when we were in this second lockdown, which is really bad. But except that people can literally just.
Well, I mean, you're technically now allowed to see 6 people out of your house instead of everyone just breaking the rules.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, true.
I mean, if I want to see 6 people, I've got to go to a public space. So, but I mean, I've not even really been able to see people this year anyway. Like, I mean, only about like 4 people live here that I see regularly, or would have seen
Isn't
regularly.
it bollocks though that I had to go up do my exams, so I had to travel up to London, take 3 exams, sit in a hall with 100 other people, and then I wasn't allowed to go get a beer with them.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
you could have had a substantial meal then.
Where is the logic behind it?
Mm.
Yes, but then it turns into a £20 pint.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's just
true.
like,
That's true.
you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
people hate that rule.
I mean, you do raise a valid point as well, because like I know it's technically education because it's an exam, but like you've done the entire semester
It's
online.
education, but where's the logic?
Yeah,
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense.
Where is the
COVID
logic?
can't get in here because it's an exam hall.
I know it's because it had the windows open.
Oh,
That's why.
it must have been freezing.
It was so cold.
I mean, like, it's not like online exams don't exist, because I did my final exams for uni online. Like,
yeah,
and it was a multiple choice. It was a multiple choice quiz.
I know. I didn't tell you guys, but in my last one, some kid just passed out as well.
Oh god, because it was so cold.
Oh Jesus!
No, it was actually really warm.
If someone
dies,
doesn't everyone pass and get an A?
Yeah, basically, he passed out. Right, he fell off his chair. The desk fell over as well.
Yeah.
And
oh my god!
The invigilators just picks him up, put him in the chair, and he just carried on. And I was like, "What?"
Someone passed out when
passed out. They didn't get him in water or anything.
This is just awakened like a memory in my. It was like my first year of sixth form, and like someone passed out. It was in a mock as well, so it wasn't even in the real thing. So we didn't get. We all got an A. No, but like someone passed out and like properly clattered onto these 2 desks. But the invigilators were all like 80-year-old women who couldn't pick up this guy, and so like other people doing exams had to sort of. I was on the other side, but like. The other people in front and behind him who were doing the exam like got up and picked him up, and like they were asking if he was okay, and the invigilators were like, "No talking." I'm like, "What? He just passed out."
Oh my god!
Oh dear! Like the invigilators, like I've never seen so little power go to some people's heads. Like,
so my invigilators this time round were really chilled.
Yeah, I know. I've seen nice.
Really
I've had nice ones before,
but all of them, like they were
that
all
point,
really like.
But like,
it's just an exam, guys.
Yeah, it'd be like at that point though, being like, no talking. Like he's checking if he's all right because he passed out. But then, although I remember like my final GCSE exam, it was like product design. Like no one really gave a shit. No offense to people doing product design as a career choice.
Harry,
no one in my set gave a shit.
Harry's wild comment of the week.
Yeah, no one in my set gave a shit about it. And like I remember it was like a 2-hour exam. Everyone was done in like an hour, because it was one of those ones. And like the invigilator just looked at us and were like, "You guys all finished?" And we're like, "Yeah." He went, "You can go." like with an hour left in the exam because everyone had finished and no one cared. I mean, I probably got fired, but like we were also like the final exam of the year as well. Like everyone else had gone. Ours was a super long.
That's the worst.
There were like 12 of us as well, and it was just like the hottest day because it was like in June or some shit. I was like, oh god.
When I did my A levels,
like, yes.
I did my A levels. I was the last exam, but I had like a week between my penultimate and last one, and everyone finished when I had my penultimate one, and so it was just like sucked so much because then everyone was just going out and stuff, and I was like, one more week to go.
What was your last exam, Ben?
It's lit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think my last exam was like an economics one, and only 2 of us did economics in the whole year. So like you had like all the rows and everything of people doing different exams at the same time. Like someone taking 3 rows, so like another subject taking this many, and then you just have me and my friend who was also called Harry. Both of us were called Harry, and we were just at the very end in these 2 desks, and they were like, we had our own invigilator who just sat there and watched us for the entire thing, and you guys done? I'm like, yeah, we're done. They're like, cool. And then we just immediately afterwards we walked out. We're like, oh, how did you do? So, I did this and this and this, but yeah, and then that was my final exam.
I hate that. I did.
Oh no! Luckily, my final exam was one that I absolutely bossed. I did have an exam in maths, I think, when I bombed it. It was like, what did you put? I'm like, I can't remember anything from that exam. Like, don't want to think about it. I just went home.
My exams. So one of my exams the other day was 90 questions. And then I come out of it and everyone's like, oh, what did you put for this one? I'm like, it was 90 questions. I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
It's like when I have question 48. I don't know. Like,
banana. Like, I don't know. No, I mean, it's like when I had my interview. So when I had my interview for my job, and Mum came and was like, "Oh, what did they ask you about?" I can't remember. Cannot remember a single thing from the interview. I know it went okay, and it did go very well apparently because I got the job. But like,
yeah, when I had an interview for a scholarship, and one of the Brooks career guys, I was like the first one to do this interview, and he didn't have any questions for it. So when I was trying to do mock stuff with him, he didn't really know what they were going to ask.
Oh dear.
So then he was like, "Oh, well, after it, could you like write all the questions down so I know what they're going to ask?" So then I did it, and then straight away I was like on this Word document. I was thinking, right, what did they ask me? And I was like, and I was sat there thinking, I was like, yeah, that's quite funny.
That's true. I mean, like, that's kind of weird though. Be like, "Oh, have you got any tips?" Like, no, you're the first person that's ever done this. Like,
yeah,
and like,
he was like, he came away and he was just. He was like, "Yeah, I mean, I went away and did some research, but there's not much out there." And I was like, "Oh, solid."
Yeah.
Was that his role? Was he meant to be an interview?
No, so he was like the law careers guy.
Okay.
He's a really nice
okay.
guy.
Yeah,
He's a really nice guy. He did try his hardest. He was actually really good for interview help. But the stuff, the thing that I was going for, he'd not had anyone come to him before and ask about it. So he didn't really know anything about it. And the questions that he found were relevant, but not fully like. So I had to do like a finance form of it, and I only had a 15-minute interview. So about the first 5 minutes was about general questions, which he, helped preempt me for. But the whole rest of the thing was all about my finance form. Like, oh, you need £20 a month for sports and leisure. What will you be doing? Well, like going to the gym. So that's why. And like they really quiz you on that, and I just wasn't prepared for that. I didn't realize that's what I presumed I get asked a couple of questions.
Well, I remember when my first interview I had for like a job, it was like back in July, I think, maybe August. But like, I mean, I was like, "Oh, why do you want the job?" I was like preparing, "Oh, I want this job because of this and this and this and this." And like every single question I got was like, "Oh, give me a time when you did this. Give me a scenario when you did this. Give me a scenario." I'm like, "Oh, hang on, I only had like 4 of them, and now you've asked me like 8." I was like,
I like questions like that.
Oh no, I mean, it definitely prepared me for like other interviews I had. But like, I was like, it really caught me off guard because like everything I'd looked at a prep and it was like, why, like saying why you want the job, and they didn't ask a single thing about that. It was all like, "Oh, can you do this? Are you able to do this? Give me a time when you did this, and that, and that." But yeah.
Good point.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, me? I was gonna say, like, I like questions like that because obviously you got your fundamental questions like, why did you want this job? Like, those kind of job orientated questions. But then the obscure ones they throw at you, like, what do you do for leisure? Or like, what's your favorite ice cream? I've had that before.
I do agree. I prefer those questions. I hate the question I hate the most more than anything. Why do you want to join us?
Yes.
Yeah, because you have money.
I need a job,
and you
pay well.
I'm sorry, but it is as simple as that.
Yeah.
It is as simple as that. And I hate it that they want some really construed. I was like, well, I met Randy at this event and he just really sold your company to me. And I thought, wow, he looks great. I want to join his company.
I want to be
liked his shoes. I liked his shoes a lot. And I know that I could buy the shoes with the job.
With your pay.
It works.
Now another thing, like, I mean, when I did my lifeguard interview, like this was 6 years ago now. Or 7, no, and it was sort of like you're stuck in a bowl. Like you're a tiny little person. You're stuck in a bowl. How do you get out? And I was like, like a lateral thinking one. I'm like, I guess like I'd make a rope out of my clothes, and then another thing was like, how would you get an elephant into a fridge? And I was like, stupid about blender. I got the job. I may be a mild psychopath. I don't know, but yeah, it was. But that was my gut reaction.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Have you guys seen The Internship?
Oh, the one with
Owen
Vince Vaughn one.
Google film.
It was terrible, but I love it.
No, it's so funny.
No,
it's so
I know.
good.
I know objectively it's a bad film, but I love it. I've watched it like 5 times.
They get asked that question, and they're like, oh, okay, you're stuck in a blender. Like, how do you get out?
Yeah.
And then they're like asking all these probing questions, like, well, what speed is the blender going? Like, hey, and it's like, and they're just like, bing, bang, bosh. Oh, look at us. Now we're having a couple of mojitos. The blender's working. Bit of ice, bit of mint. And they're just like, no. Just how would you get out?
I don't know. How would you get out of a blender? I tried and I try and jam the thingy. The blade.
It doesn't necessarily mean it's on.
No,
if it was on,
it could just be. I mean, you could also just be like, you could just have your foot stuck in it. Be like, how do I get my?
Yeah, that's true.
I found that.
Have you ever been in an interview situation, right, and answered a question with a question? Have you ever, like in real life?
Obviously, yeah, I have actually.
That's a stupid thing.
So I have. It was one of those like weird lateral thinking questions, and it was like, oh, how would you get a square peg in a round hole? And I went, well, how big's the hole? Like that was my first thing back to it, being like, well, if it's a big hole and a tiny thing, well, these you just throw it through. But yeah. That's the only time I've ever done that. But like, it's like, why do you want the job? It's like, why do you want to give me the job? Like, that'd be so dumb, so stupid.
If someone said that to me, I'd just be like, oh, just get out. Like, if someone went back, if I went, why do you want the job? And they went, why do you want me to have it? I'd be like, oh, no. Just go.
Big X on the name.
Just walk away.
I feel like Joscel's answered a question with a question before.
Yeah, not in a formal interview. No, hell no. Oh God, no. Absolutely.
Oh my God. We completely glossed over the fact that our last episode with JK.
Oh my God.
House of Fun Games or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is.
So it's on YouTube for all our audio listeners and YouTube listeners. It all of a sudden had a bit of a spike.
It did. It had like, I think it was on like, last time I checked, I think it was like 300 views almost, like 260, I think. And like normally our episodes, they do okay. Like we get like up to 100 on some. Like the Max Fosh episode, that one's our most viewed for obvious reasons, and that was like 600 and something views. But JK's little game one, 260 to 300 views in a week.
Wow.
Wow. No, we know why.
We do know why. We do know why.
So I'm a sucker for like stats and like looking at the analytics of a video, like why it's gone. And on YouTube's system, you can like look, you can see how many views it's got, how long each view was, you know, where the geography of stuff. And of these 250, 270 views or 300 views, or whatever, a good 60% of them were from Africa, more specifically Ghana and Nigeria.
Let's go! My mothers and brothers and sisters and ancestors, stand up.
What about your dads?
How did they come across this?
Again, with YouTube's analytics, you can look and see like, oh, well, this video, why is this one suddenly done well? And it's a similar thing we had with Flora's episode, actually. And like, because for context, for Flora's episode, we titled it "It's Okay to Not Be Okay." It was our episode 12, so it was episode 12. It's okay to not be okay. So in South Korea, there is a drama called "It's Okay to Not Be Okay," and that episode 12 of the latest series, something big happened. I think someone died or whatever. So we got a whole bunch of views from South Korea because people were looking for this video, this episode. And that's why we got a whole bunch of views. We had quite a lot of like normal views as well from it. But so JK's, I still was like, what? Well, there's no relation to anything with that. So what is it? And the top like 3 views are like Ghanaian sex tape or like booby video, I think was another one of like, and it was just like things like that. And I'm like, yeah, how have we ended up here? And like 15,000 people were shown the video and recommended. How did we get there? What actually happened? Like,
yeah, so it's pretty wild that because also, yeah, well, that's the thing is you go back and listen to that episode and there's nothing sexual. I don't think there's anything about Africa or sex.
And like, and I looked at the tags. There's nothing that pushes like about porn or sex or
here we are,
Africa.
Maybe it's just 3 hunky men afterwards.
Maybe.
Like, wow.
And they watched it 300 times. I don't know. But
had it on loop.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the story of how we increased our African audience.
The power of SEO, boys.
I mean, I could go onto the tags now if you want and have a look at it, but there's nothing there that like suggests.
All our Ghanaian listeners, fix up.
If you saw that video and thought it, this is
our Ghanaian listeners, Michael Essien.
Oh my god. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think we should let the audience know.
Michael Essien. Oh god. Oh, is this the
Ladies and
serious one?
gentlemen, this has been
wait.
Amazing experience. We've loved every single minute. It's been good fun. We've interviewed many people, and we've had some great viewership as well. And we're really grateful for everyone that has ever listened for even a second. But as all good things do, they must come to an end. We're a bit like The Good Place. Michael Schur said he could write another 6 seasons of The Good Place, but we want quality over quantity. And
how many seasons did
it's at this moment? 4.
Oh, okay.
We've just done 2. And it's just at this moment that we are going to be hanging up the mics, going to be
and earphones.
Yeah, taking the earphones out, and we will be stopping the podcast on our 30th episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as Harry said many moons ago, most podcasts don't make it past episode 6, and here we are about to hit 30. So we just like to say thank you, and it isn't over necessarily because we're going to do one-offs.
Couple episodes.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna. I mean, like, if we get an opportunity to interview someone, we will interview them and we'll put it on the podcast. If we have, again, like, Christmas is coming up. Like, we're gonna make this final episode a Christmas Christmas special bonanza, perhaps.
We've also got a love special coming.
We've got a love special in the works. And like, that's also, if all 3 of us meet up again, I will have my microphone and we will record an episode just for you guys.
Yeah.
So
on a field.
It's just difficult where it was really easy to do, obviously, over lockdown.
We started
nothing else
this
going on.
We started this back in April when the whole world was just stopped because they were like, well, we can't do anything. So it was Ben actually that messaged me, was like, hey, I think we should do a podcast. And I think that's a great idea. And here we are, 29 episodes later, I think. And it's been incredible. I've loved every single second of it. And yeah, it's going to be weird to stop doing it. But, I've got a job now. Ben and Joscel are doing things with uni and masters and everything, and we just can't quite keep up with the weekly upload schedule. But
yeah. So it is it's not goodbye really, because we'll be back at some point. But it's just we're gonna put ourselves on the shelf for a bit.
Mm-hmm. See you later.
We're gonna be elf in the shelf. See you later. Yeah, no, it's been good fun. Like as Harry said, as you get older, it'd be a bit different if we got paid a lot of money for this. But we don't.
If Spotify came up to us with an exclusive deal, we'd be like, oh, okay, you twist a leg, we'll do it. Yeah.
But sadly, that has not occurred. So yeah, that is it for the last episode. But we got. We're gonna have to get JK on because we've got to do some like Christmas games to find out who actually wins and loses this competition. And then we've got stuff.
We've got stuff.
So it just won't be regular.
Yeah, it won't be regular. Like, well, if we get an interview, we'll interview them and then it'll come out at some point. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I've been, I've edited every episode as well. Like, we record it on a Sunday. Like, I'd say a good 90% of episodes are recorded on that Sunday, and they comes out on the Wednesday. It's always been a quick turnaround for us, and we've loved it. And yeah, so I hope everyone understands like why we're sort of quitting while we're ahead.
It's been a pleasure, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get so much hate, I reckon.
We are.
There's like
all 4 of us
there's
like,
100 listeners. Yeah.
We're gonna get right back on the podcast. Oh god.
But I think we have hit every continent apart from
Russia,
South America, and Asia.
Oh, I don't know. Actually, no. We got South Korea. No, we definitely hit South Korea, which is in Asia.
Oh yeah. So I think just South America we didn't hit.
Mm-hmm. And then maybe Antarctica is a continent in itself, isn't it? But not many people live there. But we did get someone who's been there, so I'd say that's a win.
Yeah. Claire might have listened to it down there as well.
Hi, Claire.
So yeah, we're gonna hang the mics up. Thanks for listening. Joscel, do your outro.
Goodbye. Sayonara. Hasta la vista, baby. Ciao. I'll be back.
Oh yeah, we're back for one more episode.
This is the final one. Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Love you lots. Bye-bye.
Bye.